What's going on, everybody? Mach 389 here with another one on the RS4. So sadly, her test run didn't go so well. She actually ran beautifully. With this engine not having pinch, she ran well. But the bell is kind of worn out, so she stripped the first gear. So we're gonna have to get a new bell and a new first gear and test her out again. So for now, we're gonna take the first gear out, take the one-way bearing, we're gonna put it in the RS4 and we're gonna get the RS4 going. So this isn't gonna really be a video on the RS4. We're gonna do this video on the RS4, but there are a couple things that I do wanna show you right quick. All right, so I've been trying to find a solution for the shocks on any RS4. It doesn't matter which one it is. And the only thing I came up with at the moment, and there is plenty more options. Sorry, I almost dropped my phone. There are plenty more options, but this is the options I came out with. They say it is for Tamiya or whatever the brand is, but it says 2mod on it. Can you see that? So as you can see, they look way bigger than the RS4 or the RS4. Now the RS4 is 64 millimeters from top to bottom, not from mounting holes, from top to bottom. The RS4 is 63.5, so they're pretty much the same. This is a 62 from mounting hole to mounting hole. That's kind of odd to me, but anyways, what I'm thinking is we're gonna put less oil in here. That way we can get a decent compression, and then we still have nice travel, and we're not gonna bottom out. So we're gonna see how that works, guys. And for the rear, that's not the rear. This should be the rear. Give me 1 second. I have to compress them all to make sure I have the correct one. Okay, this should be the rear. So as you can see, the rear compresses less than the front. And I'm gonna do that because the engine is in the rear and the battery pack is in the rear of the RS4 and even in the RS4. Mostly everything is in the rear besides the battery pack. Anyways, so this is gonna be my options. 2 in the front, a little softer than the rears, and we're gonna see how that works. And if this fits, guys, now we're gonna have an upgraded option for shocks as well as the belts. So let's see how this goes, because if this works on the RS4, we're gonna do all of the vehicles in that way. So this video actually is gonna be a combination of the RS4 and the RS4, because we're gonna get the RS4 going, but we're gonna put these shocks on the RS4. All right, guys, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna test fit the new shocks on the RS4, but at the same time, we're gonna pull out the transmission so we can get that one-way bearing out. Then, after we test fit all that, we're gonna move on to the RS4. So let me get this apart, get that one-way bearing out, and I'll get to the rest of the video for you guys. All right, so, geez, you'd think I would be more prepared than this. Sadly, most of my good tools are in my car, and everything else that I have around is for my vehicle, so I have no small tools around, so I have to work with what I have. But anyways, let's get into this. This is the reason why I had a stripped spur. Hopefully, let me try to get some more light down here. Okay. Try not to focus on the blown out spot there. So as you can see, the spur, and there's a blown out spot there. Anyways, on the outside edge of the bell housing, there's a raised edge, and all along the inside is worn out basically. And what I'm guessing is there was plenty of times where the transmission was getting stuck before I even started the vehicle, and I didn't notice that until I got to work and I was gonna start the vehicle, but I decided to send it anyways. So what I'm guessing is too many times of hitting it just took the gear out because there wasn't too much contact area here, and sometimes the bell moves out because you want that in and out play, and I'm guessing if it did come out here, that's where it got caught, and that may have chipped out a few pieces on the outside of the spur, and then, you know, by the end of the run, not having much contact area, it must have stripped out the rest of the spur. So we're gonna have to get a new bell or a new first gear for this bell, and get a new spur as well. So that's all we have for the RS4 for now, and let's get to the RS4 We just have to disassemble the spur, or the 2-speed. Let's give you a little look at that. And it basically took it clean all the way around. As you can see, second gear looks fine. There is a chip on it, but that's if you go back into my older videos, it's always been there. And I have spare 43s, so the mesh is fine with the carbon fiber chassis. And we'll test that hypothesis out when we get the new first gear and we get the new bell. Then we'll really test that out. But for now, that's what we have. Oh, there we go. We get a very good look at that now. Clean all the way around. Now, the reason this didn't happen on the RS4 is because I slotted those holes when I put the motor mounts on, so I was able to adjust the engine and get a tighter mesh. So in this particular vehicle, I used the stock motor mounts on the HPI 3.0, T3.0. Sorry about that, guys. And this is what happened. But it isn't the fault of the carbon fiber chassis, I don't think. That's the fault of the bell being very worn out on the first gear. So we'll get that replaced with the steel refit kit from GTB, and we'll see how that works. All right, so we got the first gear out. We're gonna still have one way out of this, but remember that pin right there, you're not gonna find that pin again for the RS4 You're gonna have to find someone or buy it or take it from a parts car or something. So what you're gonna wanna do is take this black piece and slide it right back on. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand. Give me a second to try to line that up. So you're gonna wanna line that up and put that coupler back on. That way you don't lose that pin, and you're gonna keep this as an assembly. So you don't have to take this whole assembly apart. When you receive your new 47, you just remove that set screw there, slide this off, make sure not to lose that pin, and then you can replace your 47. Okay, so we got the one way out, and we got it into the 44. So what we did was, this is a 44 that's 3D printed. We got this on eBay. We're gonna test this out, see how this holds up compared to the original. If this holds up, we're not even gonna pop the original in. We're just gonna keep this one on. So for now, we're just gonna test this out. I think my wife paid maybe like 10 to 15 bucks for this. I think it was free shipping, if I'm not mistaken, sold in the States. So we're gonna test that out. Also, the vendor does say that you might have to trim a little bit of the plastic out to get your one-way assembly to fit this particular spur, which is true, but I just pushed mine on and it snapped on. The issue is, you see all those markings there? When you want to pop this on the way off, you might break the spur. The spur is slightly more flexible than the original. I did notice that, but that may not be an issue. So we're gonna test this out and see what happens. So let me get the RS4 out, and we can pop this in and get it back together, and hopefully get a test run in the next few days. So give me a second, guys. All right, you guys, we are basically done. We still have to figure out what shocks that we're gonna put, Are we just gonna put the upgraded shocks in her, or are we just gonna keep her like this? Not like this, but you know, with the stock shocks. We got the belts in. Belt is on. There's no binding or anything. It's kind of hard to show you guys the binding situation without the shocks, but I will show you the mesh. The mesh is basically perfect. There's no other way to for it to be, because this is stock gearing, stock 2-speed gearing for the HPI RS4 2. So there's definitely no adjustment for the gearing. So we should be good here. There is no issues with this bell at all. This bell is basically pristine. So we shouldn't have no issues stripping spurs, unless this spur, this first gear spur, is weak. Because remember, this is a 3D printed spur from eBay. We're testing that out to see how that works. It's the only way that this transmission is coming back out of this vehicle. So if that holds up, this is gonna stay just like this for now until we figure out what we want to do, which we're gonna want to replace the servos at some point. The transmitter is coming in tomorrow, and maybe in the next couple days we'll give her a test. All right guys, since the RS4 is down, we're just gonna put the 2 mod shocks on the RS4 2. As you can see, I already put the front ones in and they look pretty good. I did have to compress them a little. I probably should have filled them a little different or let out a little bit more oil, but they are nice, they do fit. And I still got some travel. This front end is not gonna bottom out. Let me put the back ones in quick. All right guys, now that I have all 4 in, I must say, they look very good up here. And I am thinking of keeping them up here. I don't know how good the quality is. They seem like they're pretty good quality, but only time will tell. These top caps do have a little seepage coming out of here, but I'm not sure if that's from me refilling them, because they did have very little oil in them. So when I took the shocks off and I went to compress the shock itself, and I took the springs off and I went to compress the shock itself, it had no rebound. So I decided to dump the oil that was in there and rebuild them myself, and that's what I did. To put them up here, you just have to remove the original hardware and then just use the hardware that comes with the shocks. In the rear, I did have to use the outer hole instead of the inner hole, so I did have to do that different. It's easier to give you a demonstration of the back, so there you go. And this vehicle will never bottom out again. Let me drop her down to the floor so you can see how she sits. All right, so there is one more thing in the back. If you do decide to get these I wanted to go over, you are slightly touching over there. It's not really affecting the shock itself. You see the movement, it's just fine. But I will say, if you do not like that, it comes with extra mounting hardware, and you can pop this cap off of the mounting hardware and may be able to use it on the original HPI. I just didn't want to wear the couplers, so I decided to leave it and go with it. They do give you extra couplers, or not couplers, but mounting hardware. And I do want to say that this one is thicker up here, so it may move your shock out a little more, and you'll have more room, and you may be able to use your inner hole if you decide to try that mounting hardware out. So that is on you, but I'm gonna leave it like this, and soon we'll be taking her out for a test run. All right, now there's the ride height. She's not gonna hit the ground.
Attention kids.
Well, I was gonna test the RS4 today, but apparently it was raining. Good thing my new transmitter came in yesterday, so I'm gonna go pick that up and we're gonna test that out. We're not gonna test it, but we're gonna get it connected and get it all adjusted. All right guys, I am back. It's been a couple days. A couple parts came in, so as you can see, the rear end is apart again. I am actually in the process of putting it back together. My one-way bearing for the first gear has come in. We have the rear belt, the middle belt, and then we have the front belt in. I also got my new receiver from Turbo Racing. with my new cheap transmitter, and it seems to function pretty well. So I can't wait to test that out. So on this vehicle here, we are testing out a bunch of things, from the one-way bearing to this 3D printed first gear. This is a 44 tooth first gear from eBay, 3D printed, to the 2 mod shocks and the 3 belts. We're gonna test that soon. I was gonna test it today, but apparently it was raining this morning, which is good for me because these parts came in, and the one-way bearing from the RS4 is slipping as well, and I was gonna use it for this car while the RS4 is down. Now let me show you something right quick, because this is the shaft from this vehicle, which I told you this shaft is the reason why these bearings are going. And I'm guessing that they're just wearing out. Somebody had commented and said that the bearings wear out after a while, which I should have noticed that, or I should have known that. So check this out. I'm guessing if your bearing wobbles, or if your adapter wobbles like that, your bearing is shot. And you see how easy it is to slide off and on? Check this out. The GTB racing bearings that I bought came in a pack of 2 for like 12, 13 bucks on eBay. I think the shipping was free. Anyways, check this fitment. It's a little bit of a press fit, but there is no wobble up there, and that works fine. So we still have a 2-speed shaft for the RS4 Super Nitro. We're lucky there. We lucked out on that. So let me get the rest of the vehicle back together, and I'll get back to you guys. All right, guys, so check it out. We have her 100% complete. I know I keep saying that, but this time it is true. We have her 100% complete. The only thing that doesn't belong to this vehicle are the shocks, which they might even stay up here. We're not sure yet. We're just testing them for now while the RS4 is down. So we got the one-way bearing, brand new. We got brand new bearings for the bell housing, 6 bearings there. We're testing out that 3D printed 47 tooth from eBay. We're testing out the belts from Amazon, the 6mm width belts, seeing how those play out. Like I said, we're gonna test out those shocks. They might even stay on this vehicle. We're not sure yet. And also, I updated my transmitter and receiver, so we're giving that a test as well. I went the cheapest route. Check this out. The response is actually pretty good. It has failsafe. LCD screen, and it has all of the features that we need plus more. Only 4 channels on this receiver, so you can name your vehicle 3 letters or 3 numbers. This is gonna be the first vehicle up here. We're gonna go into the menu. We reverse the steering. If you hold the cycle button, that is the top one to get into the menu, you're going to the throttle. And any adjustments that you have that is steering or whatever, if you hold that top one, it'll take you into the throttle setting. That was kind of annoying. I didn't know how to do that at first with this, and the manual doesn't really explain it, so I had to figure that out. So I got that working. But as you can see, you can set your endpoints, ABS if you have an electric, your expo, I guess, trim for steering if you hold it down, like I said, trim for throttle, SVC, I'm not sure what that is, DR steering, that is how far out your wheels turn. If you hold it down, you can do the throttle as well. And then back, this is how you name your particular vehicle. And that's basically it. Super simple, super cheap, and we're gonna see how long it lasts and if we get any decent range out of it. So I'll let you guys know how that works as well. So for now, we're gonna end the video here, but it's not gonna be a total end because I am gonna do the test tomorrow morning, and I am gonna add it to this video. So I guess you guys didn't just watch a whole boring video for nothing. You have a short clip at the end. We'll see how long I take the car out for. I think I'm gonna take it out right after work, so I might be in a parking lot. So I don't like driving there because it's narrow. It is long, but it's narrow, so I don't like driving there because I can't really push the vehicle to its limits, which we're not trying to push the vehicle to its limits because we're not trying to break the vehicle. We're just trying to get the vehicle going, but if we have the space, why not let her open up? But for now, we're done with this. She's 100% complete. All I have to do is pop on that air filter and we're gonna hit the road. We also got a new glow plug in here. I haven't had glow plugs for years. The glow plugs that I've been breaking in these engines with are just about as old as the vehicles themselves. So let me get out there. Actually, let me get some rest. I'll get everything together before I go to bed so that way I don't forget anything. And then we'll test this vehicle out and see how it performs with all these mods. All right, guys, just got off work, got her out. It's a bit windy, so hopefully the wind noise ain't too bad. But let me get her started, and then I'll try to get you guys a short video of her rolling, how them belts are doing, them bearings, and also that 44 tooth 3D printed spur. That's the only thing I'm really worried about at the moment is that spur. Other than that, the car should be pretty solid. So let me get it started and then we'll get back to it. All right, you guys, check her out. We're trying to dial her in. We got a new spark plug in. It's medium hot instead of the hot one. So we're trying to dial her in right now. She's acting a little funny, but filled her up with just a half a tank of fuel. We're gonna burn this out. Look at her go. This is that turbo race and cheap transmitter as well. She wanna drive, she wanna go. Sadly, I don't got the room here because of all of these cars and whatnot. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick view of her driving. I'm gonna bring her in right quick, show you the shocks on her and all that. Shocks are working pretty good, even though they are seeping, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, let's check out that 44 tooth spur. Look at that. It doesn't look like it's wearing out at all, so we might be a go there. Let me check the temp on it. All right, she's a little warm, but she's not too bad. I think she's pretty good. Ooh, a little too rich. All right, guys, I leaned her out just a bit. Well, let's see if we could get a quick rip in right quick. She's still bogging, so we're gonna have to check her out, lean her out a bit. Let me get her into the pit area. All right, let's see if I got her this time. It's a little funny because I changed out her spark plug, so she's running a little weird. I gotta get the tune right. So the tune still gotta be done a little right, but whoa! She wanna drive. She definitely wanna drive. Yeah, guys, this is wild. I can't make this shit up. I just tightened it by hand, but let's see. Look at that. The whole fucking thing is moving. Just my luck, like always. Anyways, I'm gonna burn the rest of this tank of gas and then shut her down. Still holding the tune. All right, guys, so she performed very well. Just a few little things that gotta be adjusted and fixed. One is this barrel right here has to be tightened. It loosened up and it was messing with my tune. As you can see, you can turn it by hand. And then my fix for my flywheel, the screw started backing out, so I'm gonna have to Loctite that in. I may have drilled that hole a little bit too big, but we'll throw some Loctite and see how that goes. Shocks performed well, belts performed well, all three. Bearings held up fine, no slippage in the first gear. That 3D printed first gear. It's good now. We'll see how long it lasts.